face in your face.
Hello everyone. The Euroleague double game week continues at full speed. Today we are starting week 14. Before we dive into the matches, let's not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. We make this reminder every time because the YouTube algorithm works this way. Our first match today is Zalgiris Kaunas against Anadolu Efes. Zalgiris Kaunas started the season with a surprising 6 wins in the first few games, but then lost 5 of their last 6 matches. In the first leg of the double game week, they were defeated by Partizan in a very competitive match in Belgrade. Lonnie Walker's fantastic 26-point performance wasn't enough for a win. At the end of the game, Sylvan Francisco, who wanted to take responsibility, made some poor decisions, and in my opinion, was the one who cost them the game. Anadolu Efes, after losses to Paris and Asvel, managed to bounce back by defeating Bayern Munich at home on Tuesday, surprising even me. Like in previous matches, they had problems in the third quarter, but they played a great final period to secure the win. Despite issues with rebounds, they were very efficient on offense. 6 different players contributed double-digit points, and especially from the forwards, both Roland Schmitz and Erkan Osmani were highly efficient during their time on the court. Zalgiris Kaunas is still without Thomas Tyson due to injury. On Anadolu Efes' side, Shane Larkin, who has started practicing, is still uncertain for the game. I expect both teams to have an effective offensive start, and we might see a high-scoring first half. Our next match is Maccabi Tel Aviv against Barcelona. Maccabi Tel Aviv, after a series of consecutive losses, managed to get their 4th win of the season last week in Alba Berlin. However, in the first leg of the double game week, they lost to Paris in Belgrade. Despite trying to come back from a 21-point deficit in the second half, they couldn't succeed. They struggled with their outside shooting, and Tamir Blatt, who returned from injury, couldn't be effective. Barcelona, who started the season very well, continues their decline. After losing to Real Madrid in 2 overtimes, they were defeated by Panathinaikos on Tuesday, making it their 4th consecutive loss in Euroleague. Even though Juan Núñez set a career high in Euroleague with 19 points, it wasn't enough for a victory. There are no missing players for Maccabi in this game, while Barcelona will be without Nicolas Laprovitola, Raul Neto, Simezie Metu, and Dario Brizuela. In Maccabi Tel Aviv's last 5 games, the average total points have been 182, while in Barcelona's last 6 away games, the average is 178. We can expect another exciting, high-scoring match, especially in the first half. Our next match is Partizan, Panathinaikos. Partizan, who had a very poor start to the season, bounced back with a series of consecutive wins after a 6-game losing streak. After victories over Crvena Zvezda and Olympiacos, they also defeated Zalgiris Kaunas in the first leg of the double game week, extending their win streak to 3. Carlik Jones has been in great form recently, and together with Frank Ntilikina, they led the offense in the last game. Tyreek Jones also had a fantastic performance. Panathinaikos, after losses to Zalgiris and Monaco, managed to find morale by defeating Barcelona in a tight home game in the first leg of the double game week. Despite trailing by 11 points in the third quarter, they managed to come back. Kendrick Nunn had a brilliant performance, setting a career high with 29 points in Euroleague. He was the one to lead his team to victory. Lorenzo Brown and Matthias Lesor also contributed a combined 34 points. Juan Hernan Gomez, who had a great start to the season, has been underperforming lately and needs to get back on track. Gabriel Lundberg's participation is uncertain for Partizan after missing the last game. On Panathinaikos' side, Marius Grigonis is still out due to injury, and Omer Faruk Yurtseven will also miss this game. I expect a high-scoring game with both teams reaching 80-plus points. Next, we have Bayern Munich, Baskonia. Bayern Munich, after winning 7 out of 8 games, has lost their last 2 matches. After a heavy loss to Crvena Zvezda, they were also defeated by Anadolu Efes on Tuesday in the first leg of the double game week. Devin Booker had a fantastic game, but his efforts, along with Carson Edwards and Nick Weiler-Babb, weren't enough for a win. They scored 64 points from these three, but despite not having issues on offense, they couldn't stop their opponents on defense. Andreas Obst and Shabazz Napier also didn't meet expectations. Baskonia, after a 5-game losing streak, secured their first away win of the season last week in Zalgiris Kaunas. In the first leg of the double game week, they beat Fenerbahçe at home with a decisive win. They shot efficiently and received double-digit contributions from 5 different players. Marcus Howard, who had struggled with his 3-point shooting in Fenerbahçe's previous 4 games, managed to hit 5 out of 9 against them. Bayern Munich has no missing players except for Vladimir Lucic, while Baskonia will be without Luav Cabarro and Ongjan Yaramaz. I expect Baskonia to match Bayern's high tempo, and we could see at least 165 total points in this game. Our final game today is Real Madrid, Fenerbahçe. Real Madrid has started the season far below expectations. After 13 games, they have 7 losses and only 6 wins. They secured their first away win of the season against Barcelona in double overtime, but they lost again on Tuesday in Asvel. After a poor first half, they took control of the game in the third quarter, even building a double-digit lead, but they lost in dramatic fashion with a last-second basket. Facundo Campazzo stood out with his assists, but he shot only 1 out of 9 from the field. When Campazzo struggles on offense, they have a hard time, and in the last game, they didn't get any help from Kane and Musa. Fenerbahçe's 6-game winning streak ended last week with a loss to Milano. In the first leg of the double game week, they also lost to Baskonia, suffering their first away defeat of the season. Regardless of the results, Fenerbahçe has been disappointing in terms of gameplay in the last 2 matches. While the quality of play has always been debated in their previous wins, Fenerbahçe always showed a reaction in terms of effort. But we haven't seen that in the last 2 games. In the Baskonia game, the gap reached as high as 25 points in the third quarter. With Wade Baldwin's return, there's been a decline in Nigel Hayes-Davis's performance, and Nicolo Melli has been invisible in recent games. Real Madrid has no missing players after Usman Garuba's return, and Serge Ibaka, who was rested in the last game, is expected to play tonight. For Fenerbahçe, Scotty Wilbekin, Devon Hall, and Deshaun Pierre will be out. Although Real Madrid has not been convincing, I believe they will show a reaction and win at home. I have commented on all the matches in Euroleague today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to subscribe with a single click and like the videos.